During the planning stages of your pool, when you're having a bit of a look around, it's a real common question is for people to say, how close can I be to my house or to the boundary of our property? And I think a bit of a rule of thumb across the industry, or maybe what everyone just says as a bit of a generic, is a metre off the boundary, a metre off a veranda, things like that. And logistically, that is ideal for building, keeping in mind that guys have to be able to get in there once you've excavated for a pool to be able to backfill your pool. So you couldn't be, 20 mil off something. But the truth of the matter is, every site is different. How close you can go to your boundary is going to be really dependent on your local councils. They're going to tell you what you can and can't do. And people who are restricted by space, more often than not, will go quite close. So say 2 pavers, so 800 on one side, we might have 800 on another side, which is giving us a tight space. But what a council is going to love and be more in favour of is if you've got that bit of extra room, like over a metre on one side of the pool at least. And that's for safety reasons. So your fences, although you've got your boundary, your 1.8 metre boundary fence or your internal 1.2 fences, the space around the pool is going to be an important part of that. And the other sort of side of that is how close you can go to the house. If you have not built your house yet and you're in those planning stages, it's my favourite time to have that conversation, because you have got the opportunity to put the piering in to support the slab. So if we do build that little bit closer to the house, which would be referred to as building within the zone of influence, we can then say, great, you need to pier it. Or we can move the pool 2-3 metres away, you're not building within the zone of influence, no piering required. And it really is something that you have to plan in the early stages. So don't go by rule of thumb, a metre off, a metre off. If you've got an existing house there and it doesn't have the piering, then we need to look at piering an aspect of the pool to make sure that we don't undermine the house, because that's never going to be a good situation. Or we can give you a recommendation as to what you actually need to do to the slab prior to it going down. So that's a big one, is how close to go. Think about fences, and it's different for every single site, and think about pool and undermining house and zone of influence. And they're all the things that your site planner, who's an expert in this is something that we do hundreds of times a year, will be able to clearly work you through what options are right for you and when to do them.